Denton, home of the Rural Living Museum. This is the Anthem podcast, and this is Corey.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob. It's the Rural Life Museum.
Ah, Rural Life.
So close.
I forgot how much life has to do with it.
Well, the light went off at 9:30 when they closed, so I know he didn't have a chance to double check on that.
Yeah, I just saw the sign from the road.
Yes.
Like, see the world's largest spoon.
Exactly.
And see the Rural Life Museum.
Exactly right. And apparently the
all
forthcoming Asian massage parlor across the street.
Yeah, and all the beach people who come through can just be like, I want to see how this side lives.
This side meaning this side of the bridge?
Yeah.
Honey, I've been smelling shit for 12 miles. We got to stop and check this thing out. I think that's on my shoe.
I should go into the Rural Life Museum one night and just be like, why does everything smell like shit? And just...
Can we identify the smell that makes up the Eastern Shore? I smell it everywhere. It's like I stepped in the Eastern Shore.
Like seriously, the place in the backyard where my dog shits is not quite this smell. So I can't finger it. Like, what is causing this?
Finger shit? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Have you reached the point in your mental breakdown where you're playing with your shit?
No.
Is that what we're
yet.
talking about? Do we need to address this as a problem?
No, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
I think.
All right. Are you going to let me know when you start playing with your own shit?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Because I'll just do it on the podcast. I'll get angry with you. You'll say something like, you'll say something impossibly stupid, and I'll just grab a pile of shit and throw it at you, and then...
I would be more impressed than anything else. If you have the ability to shit on command, like, no desire to, all of a sudden it's like, what? Asshole? Oh, I'd be like, I'm fucking impressed by that.
Well, yeah, I mean, You just have to stew in your juices for a little while. You can't just, like, shit on demand. Like,
right, but that's what I'm saying. If you could shit on demand, I'd be
impressed. If I'm just like, hold on a second.
Oh, throw?
Yeah.
I would be like, oh, did you throw shit at me? I'm impressed.
This poll would be the doom of me. I'd have to just, like, drop and, like, fuck you, Rob.
I enjoy that we were making a very visual gag
on
a
the
clearly audio podcast. This is just good pod. That's just good pod.
By the way, we haven't said anything yet, but Sarah's here. Sarah,
hey guys.
Sarah, identify yourself to the people who don't know who you are.
My name's Sarah Sheik. I am the
Sarah
sister...
the Sheik? Sarah the Sheik? Is that what you said?
No.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Cheek. I would be the sister of Rob. And even though I apparently don't listen to this podcast, according to these guys,
here's what I'm going to say.
I'm the special guest today.
I don't know anything about whether or not you listen. I just go by Rob's.
Let's do this. Let's have a quick quiz. Number one. The name of a girl that you don't want to have. Go.
She who shall not be named.
Okay. I used that earlier. That doesn't count.
That does count.
What I mean to say
that
is,
does count.
If you were to wear a T-shirt and it said, "I'm not a blank,"
hold on a second here.
Hold on. There are several things that I can say for myself.
No, this is a name. It's a proper name. If it was the Wheel of Fortune, it'd be a proper name.
I know somebody who knows the answer.
Go ahead. Yes.
I am not a Beth.
That is correct.
Ding, 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 ding.
There you go. Not a Beth. All right, so question 2.
You talk about, but this is the thing.
That was
Ann.
No, you say that I don't listen, but I know Beth.
Well, no, you don't. You know. Oh shit, you do know Beth.
Okay,
that's right.
But
she was at that party we were talking about earlier.
It wasn't a one Beth deal.
No, it's at all the best.
Yeah,
all the best. But she does know the Beth that
calls
the
story.
It's a Beth collective that is created.
But she knows Valentine's Day Beth.
If you were going to refer to someone as Beth,
yeah,
I know the Beth is like a plural. You know how like dear could mean one or many
or multiple.
Beth.
I like that.
Yeah,
it's the Beth collective.
It's like
they're Beth.
Yeah.
It's like a tribe of Beths.
Yeah, do you see that crowd of Beth over there? I got a big-ass pile of Beth in my backyard I got to deal with. Corey got really pissed the other day and just threw a big handful of Beth at me.
Oh man.
Oh, anyway, okay. Question 2. The name of my book.
Oh wow.
I'm
Hold
so
on, no,
fucking
no.
disappointed.
This is the thing, though. I have boycotted.
I
have been boycotting Rob's book.
Why are you boycotting the book? Literally hundreds of people have purchased the book.
Literally hundreds of people
You
have
know
gone
what?
to the Amazon link and thought about it.
What I think is that if I am a blood relative, should I have to find out about the book through Amazon, or could I find that out through my brother who wrote the book?
What do you mean? Were you going to give it a free copy?
No.
Because I don't even get free copies. I pay for my copy.
I think I
It
have
still would be the
I
supportive-
might have $4 in change in my purse right now.
That's all
that
you
I could
need.
Pay
That's
for
all you
this
need.
It is $3.99
freaking
on
book.
Amazon.
Yeah.
But
Download.
the whole point is,
Link in the show notes.
that, you know what? If you, never mind. We'll save that for
Okay.
an all-
Last question. Last question. We have done remotes at 3 locations. 2 locations. One of them didn't make air. But we have a 10-minute clip. That was supposed to be big. We've done 2 remotes.
You know what? I'm just going to interrupt you and tell you that I don't know.
See, I'm so disappointed.
And
Ocean
you got
City.
this one? Oh, okay.
Well, we did Ocean City,
Right.
and we did here. It's technically a remote from the studios.
How
Oh, the
would
Anthem Studios
anybody
people
consider
are
I don't feel like
being-
this is a remote,
I
though.
don't think this is a remote.
No,
And
location.
no, and
Because what
studio-
I
and
was
technically,
going to say-
and technically, there was Andy Nelson's.
Oh, shit, we did 2. Yeah, so there's 2, yeah.
What
So I
was
would say
going to
Ocean City
is
and Andy Nelson's would be
that
the
the little
remotes.
information that Robert likes to share with his sister includes Baltimore and Denton.
Okay. We'll call that a wash.
Oh
So you
my-
got 1 out of 3, if we count the wash in your favor.
Okay.
And the book, name of the book, by the way, is The Movement, Insurrection. Available now at Amazon.
Right
But,
now.
but, okay, also in my defense, I've heard of multiple book names because apparently
There are many books.
there are many books.
Yep. Corey, how are you coming on the edits on that, the photobiography, which is the working name and not the name we're going to publish on there?
It is coming along.
How far are you along?
If I had to put a number on it, I would say I am 39% of the way through.
What is the last thing that happened that you remember?
Fuck.
Yeah, see?
Okay,
You
thank you
bastard.
for putting Corey on the spot.
Well, I can't just have you be on the spot.
Well, here's
So.
again.
Oh, really?
Again, I would like
Since
to.
when?
I would like to state for the record that I am a awful reader.
Yes, we've already covered.
Takes me a long time to read.
Yep.
I'm not one of those people who just like engages in a book and like can't put it down.
Well, I know your writing style, and I just assume your reading style is the same. Like you read 10 pages, you then rip them out, reprint them, put them back in. Read another 10 pages, rip them out,
What
print them out, put them back in.
what I should do is read your book and then just rewrite it and send it back to you.
This
And be
is how
like,
I would
This
do
is
it. if I
this is
were
what it should be.
you. Right, exactly.
Be like, everything has changed. No, it's a romantic comedy based in San Francisco.
Yeah, but that's what
Yeah.
you should. That's what
Well,
you should
that's
write.
what it should have been.
Yeah. Right. Maybe you should just take that on as a job. My books, your screenplays, mom pornography, everything. You'll just rewrite it and send it back to the source. This is what you should have done.
I like how
I
you
should-
throw in the
I
mom
should just-
pornography.
I should just offer mom pornography to the porn studios. Just be like, listen, it's just one of the many things I can do.
Right.
I can run a camera. I can,
I can jerk
Listen,
off
we
to
need to
mom
have-
porn.
I can jerk off to mom. What we need to have a conversation with is you've been using the
when
same
I'm in my
tired-
refractory period, I'll be super focused on editing.
But all right, but no,
Just somebody just going around Vivid offices, just like opens up the door and I'm naked at an Avid deck. It's just like, go away, editing. Like
I think
idiocracy, like go away, Peyton.
I think that guy was jerking off in there. No. That's the editing bay. There's no way he was. No, I mean he was naked. He does that though. It's not.
Listen, he's pretty fat. He gets hot easily.
It's a leather chair. I don't know who was thinking that was a good idea. We make sure. By the way, when you go into Bay B there, you want to take the spray bottle with you. Wipe that chair down. The things that
Just
are on
like
there, you don't
just
wanna
like at the gym.
Just like-
Just like at the gym, you just want to
it's
spray and wipe. Because I'm pretty sure that everything gets cleaned at the gym once you spray it and wipe it. It's
Listen,
not just
Yeah.
spreading
It's
the
totally-
germs all over.
That is a
It's
very
not just
high...
taking the isolated germs and then spreading them. It's totally eliminating and killing everything.
I thought for sure it was a high alcohol content spray until I accidentally sprayed it into the fan, which then blew it back into my face.
Yeah.
And I realized that at one point, I think it was high alcohol, and they just keep adding water to it to fill it back up. It was pretty much water being sprayed in my face. And I was like, why am I taking the effort of spraying down my equipment here? I think that my sweat is probably better than that water. It's been in the bottle for like 6 weeks, and it's got germs in it. So I just have the policy of sweating everything up and then licking it.
See, but the obsessive compulsive in me is like, I need to clean this thing now that it's
Even
done.
if it's fake.
Even if, well, a lot of times I don't work hard enough at the gym to actually break a sweat. I just sit there and feign the activity.
Clank, clank.
Just put the bicep thingy on like 5, and I'm just like 5 pounds. I'm just like, ugh. If I do 500 of these, then I'm gonna be super toned.
It's not about bulk. I'm trying to tone now.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get all like muscular. I don't want to be like fucking Arnold back in the pump and iron days. I just want to be. Just when I take my shirt off, I want people to go like, man, that fatty guy is toned.
That redneck six pack where the Scott Steiner.
Yeah, the
Scott
Steiner. Oh, I love that.
Six pack on top of the beer belly.
Yeah,
That's how we roll.
that was steroid abuse. I just
You know,
like at the time I remember looking at it going like, how did he do that?
steroids.
Yeah.
By the way, if anybody has any steroids, I'm just not saying that at all.
Let's just proposition people for anabolic steroids on the podcast. Listen, if you know a guy,
I got a guy in my gym, but he's not really being very helpful. So listen, Kevin, if you're listening out there, if anybody knows Kevin, tell him to be cool. All right, just be cool.
just be cool.
We know. Everybody knows. Okay.
Kevin McAllister of 123 Fake Street.
Exactly right. But my hope is just to get down to an A cup. That's really what I'm hoping. I got really realistic goals. I'd like to be me from 2009. That's really what I'm aiming for.
I'm just happy anytime I go into like the bathroom and look at myself in the mirror, and then when I raise my arms up over my head, the titties disappear.
Yeah.
So like
Still
as
got it.
long as
Still
as
got
long as I lift up my arms and there's no titties, I feel like I'm succeeding to a degree. I'm not that far down the.
By the way, Bob, the man who invented putting the cabinets under the mirror so you catch yourself as you're bending over there to grab something out.
Yeah.
He should be shot. I don't know who invented that, but I stand and I flex for like 20 minutes to get myself feeling good.
You feel like the CEO of the cabinet manufacturer would have just been like,
Yeah.
the first time he goes in there to like like oh, this is the new model. Let me see.
They
Oh,
put
God
the
damn it.
cabinets on the top,
God
so
damn
as
it,
they
Jim.
reach into them, their titties disappear.
That would be great. Yes.
Wait, what?
Put the cabinets on
You
top
put
of the mirror.
cabinets
Oh yeah,
above
so
the
like
mirror,
you're always
yeah.
reaching. You're just like, oh man, I'm
Oh,
looking
yeah.
good.
But I spent
Can
I
I,
even
say though?
I even
this
see
is
a little.
not
I
just
see
male
even a little
problem.
dimple over
I
on
got a
this
little-
side.
I got a little thing going on here. Is that abs? I think that's the corner of the abs coming in.
I'm pretty sure that every like 50
That's
plus year old woman can.
That's the type of thing I only see on John Cena. Like,
It's there.
Every 50 plus year old woman can relate to your lifting their arms above their head, so their titties don't touch their knees.
Well, I don't.
what was
I don't know
what was
if
the
that's a problem we should
what
have.
was the one about like when you get old enough, it's like sunny side eggs hanging off a nail or something like that.
That was that one of the country comedians who said
I don't know,
that?
may
I feel like
That sounds.
I might have picked it up via osmosis from being around you for.
could be.
Yeah.
Could be the smell coming through.
Yeah.
So now that we burned 30 minutes,
Actually, it's like 15.
really? Well, shoot. All right.
But we have plenty of time now to talk about.
Now that we've covered nipples that are titties that look like eggs, soft-boiled
off a
eggs
nail.
hanging off a nail. No real way to go from there. So let's just try to get this back on track.
Well, the only thing that sucks more than that is what the Orioles have not done this week.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. So
So-
I'm gonna give you your free reign. and then I'm gonna bust your balls. That's what's gonna happen. So,
What?
not literally, not
Oh,
a literally thing.
Yeah, because this is just an audio podcast.
Yeah.
We're not-
I think it'd be worth it though for the listeners. Your screams of pain.
I feel like
I think that would transfer.
I love the Script Notes podcast. And they said as soon as they reached like 1,000 subscribers on their app, they were going to do a filthy podcast.
We
I feel like-
knocked that out the box in episode 4.
We knocked that out the box episode 1.
Well, that's true.
But
Yes.
I feel like, and it's just gotten progressively and progressively worse.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we hit if we have release an app and we have a subscriber base type of
Right.
thing, and we reach 1,000, then we should just fuck on camera and then just give it to
Wait.
just the subscribers.
You and I, or
Yeah, wasn't that what you were just saying?
no, that's not. I was saying I was going to kick you in the balls,
Oh,
and your screams of pain would transfer. Although now, obviously, a long-born
Now-
secret
now we
is out.
now we have.
Corey's been dreaming
What-
about this since freshman year. At
Trying to
Hofstra.
figure out how to make that happen. He
One
finally
of-
came up with this
One
stuff.
of these days, I'm gonna get Robin bad.
But let's just say, from what I've heard, the first encounter that you guys had included a song by ABBA,
It did.
We did.
It did.
sung by none other than
Then this guy right here.
That guy right there.
Yeah.
But here's what I'll say. I can understand your position because you've had 12 years of being like, what does that girl see in him? There's got to be something. I know you're asking yourself the question. You're asking yourself that question about what is it? What is it about him? It's not his
Hold
looks.
on, are we all
Maybe-
witnessing the moment where Corey and Rob realize their love for each other?
No.
They're
We're reaching the point where Rob realizes that Corey is amongst the legion of women who want his dang-a-lang.
I just all I
Dang-a-lang.
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 number one, I think it would be funny. Number
Okay.
number
You think
number
it would
two.
be funny to have your
I'm gonna pull it. You're gonna get a juice style.
Penetrated.
You're gonna get
What?
a juice. You watch something?
Who's that on bottom?
First of all, let's have an academic discussion about this.
Yeah.
If that were to ever happen,
Oh, this is
you would totally
purely
be the bottom.
academic, yeah.
You would totally be the bottom. I'm obviously the dominant person in that situation. I don't think there's any way that that's not the case.
I feel like I am not the only person that is uncomfortable at this point.
This is what I'm gonna say. Listen, all I'm gonna say is,
All I can
if
think of
you're
is,
not the
is the
dominant,
number of people sitting in their office listening to this.
volume down. Probably should not have had the volume up on that. Yeah, no. All I can think of is if you're the submissive person in a relationship with a woman,
Yeah.
you're going to be the submissive person. I'm very manly. I don't know if you guys know that about me or not. Very manly. Super type A. Beautiful, beautiful blue eyes. Sometimes green, depends what I wear. Dark hair, always swept just ever so gently to the side.
Yeah.
Type A personality. I'm the alpha male around the water.
I wish this was a YouTube
It used to be why.
because then everyone could see the look on my face.
Oh.
You should describe yourself.
I think you're gonna see me. I mean, obviously, y'all can see me at Robert and Cheek on all your social networks. But obviously, I'd be the dominant person.
See, I don't see it.
Really?
No.
Really?
No.
Really?
No.
Everything you know about me?
Well, see, when you're fucking women,
Yes.
then you got to do your oh, I'm Rob thing.
First of all,
Then you gotta be-
let's just start. When is the only time? This is an academic discussion.
Right.
When you say when, you mean all the times that you were ever had sex.
Well, when can be always.
I just wanted to be clear.
Okay.
It's going to be clear.
Anyway,
Just because
When-
Corey is coming out.
when Rob is fucking women,
Yeah.
and he's got to do his I gotta put you down, blah blah blah. His whole his
Now
big,
I understand
When
why.
he's
His big
fucking women and
his
not
big old
fucking
d-bag act. But then
Now I understand why you
But
fail,
then-
because that's what you think my game is.
But then
You're
as soon
walking
as-
up to women at bars going, hey,
just
sex?"
mumble at them.
Yeah.
Just be like, you want to fuck?
Because that's what you think my game is.
Yeah,
Which, on occasion, when I'm super wasted.
Well, I'm to be honest, in the interest of time, I was just fast forwarding
Okay,
with
sorry.
mumbles. It was,
I didn't
it was,
realize.
it was a new version of yada yada yada. We're just like skipping through.
I thought you thought I was mumbling to these.
No.
Okay.
What was more important was the visual that nobody could see.
Yeah,
The audio podcast where I'm like fixing the shirt and like moving the shoulders.
Do
and
I
I'm just
do
like,
that? I feel like I actually probably do that.
I have seen like a literal step from time to time.
A little step. What do you mean?
Like okay, I saw it a lot when you were back in the day, Rob.
College Rob?
Yeah,
Right,
jeans, big orange coat, Nike hat, Rob.
Oh shit! A long time ago, Rob. Yeah.
But there used to be a time and place where you were just like, oh, I think I know that girl who's standing peacefully to herself all the way over there. I gotta go see her. And there would be like a little like stutter step before you started to walk. Like that was a big. It was like in the nature documentaries where they're just like, you know, the tiger is on attack when you see that the tail is swiping from left to right.
Oh yeah.
It was just like anytime I saw Rob do his little like, like he had to, like it was an old style cartoon and he's gonna run in place for a few minutes before he keeps moving.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember that completely.
Right. But anyway, so when you fuck women,
Yes.
you gotta put it all. You know, you gotta be the
Right.
bravado. You gotta
Right.
all that shit. But then as soon as you come over to fucking a man, that's when you want somebody else to do it for you. You wanna see how the other side lives. That's
You
the
sound like you know a lot about that.
It does, and it sounds like he's planned out this little adventure in his head a lot. Something. What I'm thinking is, it's a little bit of moms teaching teens, and then a refractory, and then a Rob's Facebook page kind of situation. That's what I think. Switch it up, sit on that hand for a little bit. Let's pretend it's somebody else. That kind of thing. Is that what
No.
we're talking about?
no.
Oh, that's just the. Raise your hand. Let's say, raise your hand if you've had a sex toy ever in your life.
Every
I think we did this earlier.
yeah, we did this
Well,
earlier.
'cause
Everybody.
I eliminated
Well, again-
the descent.
again,
I
we're-
eliminated the descent. Because the only person who's
4 out
not
of
here now. No, it's not 4 out of 5. It's 4 in a sleeping person.
It's more and somebody who would be raising their hand if they weren't asleep.
How is she sleeping through this?
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Let's address how she hears this banter on a
Yeah, that's true. She has
daily
to put up with this a
basis.
lot.
She's gonna wake up later and she's gonna be like, I had the weirdest dream about you and Corey having sex.
That was not real. That's Corey's fantasy, not yours.
And you were the bottom in that. That's
No.
weird.
No one who ever dreams that would ever put me on the bottom. No one. Not one person. Corey doesn't count because I don't know. He's the only person on earth who would put himself on the top in that situation.
All I'm saying is there have been the T-shirt suggestion that came in was the come for Rob, stay for Corey. I imagine that
How are we spelling come
the regular way.
Okay.
The regular way with the backwards 3 instead of an E.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
But no, I feel like if we put this poll in the field, like who's the bottom, Corey or Rob?
I'm gonna create a poll.
There's going to be like a ton of like, hey, Corey
Hold
seems
on,
like
hold
a
on. Can
Corey's
I just
the one-
address how you said if we put this poll in the bottom?
I am going to make a poll.
okay.
I'm going to put it on the Facebook page and you can put it on the website. We'll
Why
take
don't we
some
just
votes and
why
we'll
don't we
see.
just put it on the site? We've done that
That's
before.
fine.
Yeah.
And we'll see what people
Put
say.
the poll in the
Right,
bottom.
yeah. Put the poll in the field.
Put the poll in the field, and we'll see what people say.
Put the poll. Put the poll.
in the bottom.
Put the poll in the mouth.
So listen to me. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, this is Rob. I need all my women.
This is Rob.
Listen, look, ladies, hang on. Let me take a. Should I hit that? Let me take a little stutter step, and come over and talk to you for a second. What I need you to do.
Hey, baby, let me
Find
holler
my
at you.
poll.
Let me holler at you. Let me holler at you. Let me holler at you.
First of all, I would never say that. But listen to me, ladies. I just need you to go check out that poll. I need you to say, hey, I think life would be exactly how I want. Rob on top. That's right.
This
Although-
is Sarah.
Although in my
Mom.
life, I'm very lazy, so I don't really think that's probably true happening most of the time.
vomit.
At this point, I'm just trying to gauge it. I'm waiting for a real vomit. That's what I want.
You're waiting until we go so far with this that your sister, who is sitting in the room with us while we're having this discussion, vomits on your floor.
Actually vomits. Totally worth having the cleaning lady pick it up. I mean, I'm not going to do that. She can do it, though.
There got people that
So
pay
you
for that.
just leave the pile of vomit here.
For days.
Just
For tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Like,
She'll be here tomorrow.
Just like the sneakers in the middle.
First of all, you ain't got to be here. This is my apartment. So if you don't like it, you can get the fuck out. Anyway, so going from getting fucked in the ass one way, Corey, to you getting fucked in the ass another way, the Orioles have not made very many moves.
No. I forgot we were going
That's what we call a segue.
I was gonna say
I forgot
that
we
was such a
I forgot we
smooth
were gonna talk
segue
about that.
back
Yeah.
into the
Well,
Orioles.
all right, so here's two of the three I'm not shocked about. Because I knew Cruz was looking for a 4-year deal, and if anybody gave it to him, then he was going to go.
And
Which is
if
what
anybody
happened.
was dumb enough to give it to him.
I wouldn't give him 4 years if I was Taquette either. So I'm not horribly disappointed by that. I like Nelly.
Are you
but
surprised that somebody gave him 4 years? Because I was.
No.
I thought he was going to end up signing back with the Orioles for 2 years when he went to shop himself, and everybody's like, 4 years? Do you know how old
Well,
he
no,
was?
it's 3. The Orioles offered him 3.
Oh, I know, but I mean, what I'm saying is he shopped himself around and got 4 years.
Yeah.
And who is looking at him and saying, in 4 years, he's going to be the same guy he was this year?
The Mariners, who think that he'll be just a DH and...
No.
No.
I think that was that's a miscue on their part. But nonetheless, yeah.
Andrew Miller, who's now dead to us.
Yeah,
Because he signed with the Yankees.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. I'm not so hurt about that. He is what I like to call a Roger Clemens. We brought him in the middle of the season last season, right?
Well, yeah, we traded for him at the end of the
Traded for
year.
him and brought him in. He was the guy. He was the break him down middle reliever guy, and he didn't have any loyalty to us. If he'd won the World Series, I think he would have stayed. If we had won the World Series, maybe he would have stayed.
Well, if we paid him to...
Right, that's what I was gonna
Well, and I don't
he
know
was
that he's
just,
worth
I
it.
think he was just going to the top bidder.
And,
And
here's the thing.
And anytime you say top bidder, you got to say Yankees somewhere around there.
Unlike position players that we're going to get to, I have a less hurt when pitchers do that because they have a couple of good years, and then you're playing AAA ball for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
You're a position player, like say a right fielder. You got 15, 20 years.
Segue to Nick Markakis.
Well, yeah. If you point out the segue, it ruins the segue. I know you don't listen very often. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pretend that
You don't
didn't
know
happen.
how podcasts work.
No, I
Let the
totally
professionals
know
do
how
this.
they work. I just love pointing out the
I
segue.
think that Sarah.
Because Rob thinks that he's good at the segue, when really everybody's
all.
like, "Oh, he's just about to talk about Nick Markakis."
Rob's great at the segue.
Rob thinks he's really good at the segue and being the top in a homosexual relationship. Neither of these are true.
Okay, so we're gonna rewind that and go back. So where were we? We were saying a position player's got a full career. He's got 15 or 20 years playing position, maybe more. if he
Not
takes
unless
care
you
of
have a
himself.
neck injury.
Which we'll get to maybe. But a pitcher's got
Just
a much
for
shorter.
example.
A pitcher's got a much shorter career. 4 or 5 years in, something happens, you rotate, over-rotate, under-rotate, you're having Tommy John surgery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when he says, I did excellent for 3 months, and that can get me $36 million,
38.
$38 million.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It is 36.
Take it and run. Because I think it was 36 guaranteed.
It's all guaranteed.
Yeah, so he knows he's getting paid $36 million.
Yeah.
And unless he's organizing a rap career, he can live on that for the rest of his life. He pitched really well in the postseason for the Orioles. That got him $36 million. Take it and run. Now, if you have loyalty to a team, let's say that you started out with a team and you grew with a team and you're a position player with a long career, and you
Yeah.
have some injuries, and you say you're loyal to a team and you show up on FanFest Day looking like a goddamn Neanderthal, and we joke about how much we love you because you do that.
We joke?
Well, we joke about how we love the look, even though it's like...
I like the look.
You rock the look. That's why you like it. But
Because
nonetheless,
I do that in my personal life.
yes. And then it comes down to money, and you stab the very people who love you in the back.
I'm gonna have to disagree
I was
course
going
you
to
will.
disagree.
Of course you do.
because while it seems like make believe numbers, the millions of dollars that these players get paid,
Yeah.
it's still like honest, real money. And if somebody's offering you 4 years as opposed to 3 years, then I think that you have to take the offer that.
There's no deal that can be struck. 2 years with an option for 2, 3 years with an option for 2, something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, you also have to think about stuff that I've read. It's been about his neck injury, and the Orioles didn't want to continue to pursue something and spend money on somebody that they couldn't guarantee would be with them for even 3 years.
Right. Well, we
So,
offered him
I
3,
mean,
though.
You know, it's back to a building stage, but you could use that money for
Well,
somebody that could be around a lot longer.
We're not rebuilding yet.
And we are looking
I mean,
at
honestly,
Aoki.
if you look at Diaz's numbers over
Yeah.
the last 3 years, it's pretty similar to Nick.
Yep.
I mean, Nick is a better hitter, like average hitter.
But when he's healthy.
But you
And
know,
he's not
if you
breaking
look
his
if you look
hand.
at the counting stats and everything like that, home runs, RBI,
We're
Diaz-
moneyballing it.
Diaz has more speed and
Right.
less defense, but it's okay.
And
then some would argue that Nick Markakis is actually overrated on defense
I would
because
tend to
he
agree.
doesn't have a lot of range.
No. And we're
He gets to
looking
all the
at-
balls hit right at him. It's sort of the Derek Jeter parable. Like if you hit a ball right to him,
He looks great.
he looks great. But if he has to extend it all to try and get it, then he's not going to get it.
Which makes me a little excited that we're looking at Aoki from Kansas City, who seem to have a much greater range, especially at the Big K, which has an insanely large outfield. I think he would do very well. Having spent all of our playoff games standing in the flag court,
Yeah.
he seemed to have a pretty good range.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we're going to get him, but all hope is not lost. I'm focusing more on the fact that that son of a bitch stabbed us in the back for money because he's a whore.
I can't agree with that premise.
Go ahead.
He's done a lot for the community. He's
Sure.
been a good team guy for a long time.
Mhm.
I don't fault him for going out there and getting the best deal that he can. And you know, he's going to Georgia where he was born or where he was raised and where he went to college and
Right.
all that sort of stuff.
So, like, if a player who grew up in Maryland and played, I don't know, say first base, and then went to play for another team based solely on the money,
I thought
You
we
had
were
the
done
same
with
reason.
this, like his first season with the Yankees. I thought we were
Wait,
done
who are
with
we
that.
talking about? Do you actually know who we're talking about?
I suck at saying his last name, so I'm not.
What
gonna
is
say
it? What would you call him if you had a
I
nickname?
hate saying it. You guys make fun of me.
No, go ahead. What's his first name?
Texaria. I can't say it.
She actually knew who the shit it was.
Close
though.
enough though. Mark
Teixeira.
Teixeira.
Yeah.
Teixeira. That's it.
But Tex,
yeah,
Corey
that
calls him
gets me
Tex.
every time.
Because
Other people call him Tex,
Yeah.
too. I mean, not just you. But
You know,
I
I,
li-
I
I
have
li-
to say for everybody that's listening, it's really difficult to be an Orioles fan around Rob and Corey because although you may feel like you're a
like you're
fan,
well connected.
yeah.
then as soon as you get around Rob and Corey, they make you feel like you don't know a thing.
Here's what I will say. My complaint was when Corey and I discussed what we were going to talk about this week. What is it that you brought up to me?
Nick Markakis.
Right. And completely ignored the fact that, well, I mean, it's a minor thing. And I don't want you guys to feel disconnected. But 6 people in the last week were shot by police officers. People sworn to protect them and serve them.
Listen,
You just don't.
I'm
care.
not.
I mean, they're black, so you don't care. Obviously, that's cool.
I'm not saying.
You're racist.
I think my position on the many times that we've spoken of the police on this podcast.
Looking for a white Christmas? Is that what you're saying?
I think the many times that we've spoken about the police on this podcast, I'm very firm on I don't like the police shooting people.
Right.
This is serious business, though.
But
Nick Markakis was on our team for a long time.
Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Okay.
It's not going to be the same without him. It's going to be weird.
Hashtag We Can't Breathe.
Hashtag,
I'm more worried
hashtag
about what am
Jonesy.
I gonna do? What am I gonna do with all my memorabilia that has his name on it?
It increases in value.
Well, no, I think Nick Markakis is kind of timeless in a way. Like if you had like a Mark Belanger jersey,
Making
like,
a
that would-
masturbation hand gesture
go
towards
away,
Corey,
biting,
and then directing it.
and then
into-
seagull in me.
Yes. Seagull. No, so when there is no more, it goes up in value. So there's that, and I have a feeling that when he eventually does break his neck or whatever's going to happen, he'll sign a 1-day contract to come back and retire as an Oriole, and
Or he could just come back in 4 years.
he'll be too old. He's not coming back in 4 years. He's not a DH. He didn't have the numbers to be a DH.
Maybe he could be like Paul Molitor if he gets his average way up.
Well, I just want to be that clutch guy.
Yeah, just
He
that.
hasn't been that clutch either.
Mm.
He was really clutch for us in the 2012 playoffs, though. I'll give him that.
The one where he was hurt.
Stayed the fuck out of the way. Yes, he sat on the bench and stayed the fuck out of the way.
See, I feel like Rob's one of these people, like, as soon as the player leaves the team, he's like, good. We
Fuck
don't
him.
fucking need him anyway.
Right.
I treat my players like I treat my women. When you're gone, you're gone.
Hey,
Nothing
Cal,
but negativity.
Cal Ripken signs a 1-year contract with, like, I don't know, the fucking Tigers or something like that. And he says, like, I didn't even like him.
I didn't. No.
He was a fucking hack the entire time.
You know, here's what I'm going to tell you. I think he sat
Everything
down a
that
little
he
early back in '87, and that streak was bullshit. That's what I think.
Everything that he would defend a player against, like, to someone else,
Right.
as soon as they move,
One
he's
one
using all that shit against them.
one week ago, it's like, we need more players like Nick Markakis. Good on-base percentage, solid defense, just a quiet leader. We don't need any of those rah-rah guys. We just need people who are reliable. Wait, what? The Braves? Fuck that guy. You
Traitor.
remember when it's supposed to hit a lot of homers? Where are all the homers, Nick?
That's exactly right. That's what I do.
Weren't you supposed to be like
Did you mess up your neck sucking a dick?
Wow.
Wow.
That just went somewhere really, really. What is with the couch? All the
hate and-
the hate and the sex over here.
It's like the
The
player.
mom teaching teens
It's
over here
like-
on the couch.
It's like the player haters ball. Hate.
Anyway, so the point I was trying to make is that although baseball is important, it
Yeah.
is the national what?
Pastime.
Pastime. And if one was to look in the newspaper, what we would think is the national pastime is shooting unarmed black men, because it seems like that's happening a lot more often than baseball games. What do you want? Wait, what is that?
You continue to push the segue to
I do, because we need
violence,
to talk about it.
white violence against black people.
No. Because you know what? White people get beat up too. It's not a race issue. I've said this 1,000 times. Stop making it a race issue. It's not about race. Poor people are getting killed by the representatives of the rich. That's what it is.
I would like to just quickly, because this is an argument I had recently.
Sure.
Somebody brought up the point that crime statistics are much higher for like black people
Okay.
than white people or any other race, and I said, well, if your entire life you spend being the victim of like accusations and
Right.
profiling, then you're going to naturally be more like you're going to get picked off for more things than somebody who is unsuspecting.
That's part of it. Raise your hand if you've ever stolen something from a store. Raise your hand if you have a criminal record for stealing something from a store. Raise your hand if you've been caught stealing something from a store by the store manager. Really? Never been pulled in the back? Am I the only one?
No.
Really? I want to talk about from personal experience then.
When I stole, I was 6 years old. I grabbed a magazine off the rack and I walked out with it.
But I can also say, as
I was reading it
someone
as
who
I
has
walked
been-
out.
A former shoplifter?
no, someone who has been
As
the manager
as somebody
of
used to be a petty
multiple
criminal.
businesses
Yeah.
where people stole things, we didn't pull anybody to the back.
No, well, I got pulled
Well,
to the back.
It's you recover the things that people are trying to take,
Right.
and then you tell them you can't return to the store. And on on any occasion, it didn't matter if they were white, black, Hispanic, Asian. If they stole something, I just wanted to make sure that I could get it back.
Okay, so
because it's an inventory issue.
Here's what I'm going to say.
I don't think it has anything to do with a race issue. I think it's people trying to make sure that they don't lose money.
Statistically, you're more likely to have charges pressed against you for shoplifting if you're a black woman than you are anyone who's white, and especially a white man.
I did catch a black woman stealing hot sauces off the wall at Nelson's once.
See, this
was on camera.
I'm going to use the Stephen Colbert argument to that and say, thank God we have solved the global warming problem because it was chilly where I am. And also, we've solved world hunger because I just ate. These are, I know.
That was just an aside. I just wanted to,
I'm
thought.
I'm going to make fun of you the rest of this episode.
Okay.
Because baseball's so
is in most businesses is based on the volume that you have stolen. Because if somebody tries to steal one shirt, the business does not want to spend the money to prosecute that person
for the one shirt.
So people who are being prosecuted are stealing a high volume of merchandise.
Well, here's what I was saying.
Which is why they're being prosecuted. So I think, like, I understand you're saying that that black people are being prosecuted more, but
or persecuted would probably be the
both.
However, that could also mean that they steal more volume-wise.
It absolutely could.
Any other race.
It absolutely could. But I think that the point of the matter is we have a systematic problem related to race. We have been convinced we have a systematic problem related to race. And maybe there is a race component in it, but that is not the issue. The issue is rich people are staying rich, and poor people are getting poorer, and middle-class people don't exist anymore because they're poor too, and upper-middle-class people, well, they're still poor. Everybody's poor. You're either rich or you're poor. You're the rich or you're struggling, and there's different levels of struggling, I guess, but it's all the same.
Show of hands, how many people here are struggling?
Hashtag
the struggle. That's right. Something else we're going to be starting is the hand gesture for hashtag. And just so you know, you make peace signs with both of your hands and cross those fingers. That's a hashtag.
Those on like Jimmy Kimmel or something like that.
Was it?
Or on Jimmy Fallon, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, because I was about to give Erin the.
I thought she made it up.
No.
I was gonna say that she made it up.
That's a OD Anthem original.
Sure.
Patent pending. Okay, so we now.
She did
I'm
that.
sorry,
She did that like
EP.
7 years
you
ago.
You guys refer to her as EP.
Yes.
On the show,
So here's my point though.
EPZ3 on Twitter.
You know when there's a systematic problem. Can we at least agree there's a systematic problem with people getting shot by the police?
My upset the anger I felt at the Michael Brown story was not that Michael Brown got shot, which is obviously bad, but like because the more evidence that came out, the more it seems like he was just like an innocent passerby who got shot by the cops. But I would just like police to start getting charges pressed against them more often.
And here's my problem. I'm not looking for a guilty.
I just want them to go into court.
Yeah. The grand jury's letting them off is the biggest miscarriage of justice.
The Eric Gardner one is the one that like really I don't get. For everybody who's saying that we need body cameras on cops, we had camera on this incident, and I felt like it was pretty open and shut.
It's all about how you view it. That's the biggest sign that we have a systematic problem in the country is this. If you look at that video as an impartial observer, you say, well, that's going to go to trial. I have no dog in that fight. And I look and say, okay, he says, you're not messing with me today. Chokehold, dead. We should probably look into that. We'll see how that happened. and let him put on his justified defense or whatever else. Same thing as Darren Wilson. Go to trial, put on the defense that it was justifiable homicide, and move on from there. If you look at the video with a racist point of view, you say, that is a very big black man. That is a very small white man. And he is a police officer, and that guy is not following his orders. I could see. And when your initial reaction is, I could see why it's okay, versus we should at least have a trial, that's a systematic problem.
I think the bigger issue is that law enforcement are being more, proactive than reactive.
Yeah.
Like they're going into situations thinking that they're going to be worse than they could actually be.
Yeah.
So they're going into it with this mindset instead of, waiting to see what might happen. They just assume that these things are going to happen, and then they take the steps to resolve the issue that hasn't even happened yet.
To be fair, and this is something I've also pointed out, and I would like to again point out, because this conversation is going to be very heavy on the, let's get all the cops kind of thing.
When is it okay to shoot cops?
Rob wants that on the show notes, I'm sure.
I do.
A 27-minute long video about.
It's 11 minutes long.
It felt like it was like a half hour.
Yeah, but it's like a duck. It's like that duck and cover thing that our parents had to watch when they were in school. Because it's like, yeah, it's long and boring, but then when it comes, you're like, oh, I gotta duck under the fucking desk. That's what I gotta do.
Oh my god, nuclear bomb! I gotta get under the desk.
Well, obviously, it's all the lead paint in the desk that protects you, so you're fine.
It's just a shield.
It's a shield of lead paint.
Lead paint. Yeah.
And that's what I realized. They want you to get under the lead desk.
Yeah.
It'll offer some kind of protection. But no, yes, it's 11 minutes long, and you watch it, and maybe it changes your point of view. Maybe it doesn't, but at least you have the information. You absorb it.
I feel like it might have been a little bit too much.
It's a little dry. I'm thinking.
It's a little dry, and it's a little too like. You ever hear like somebody talking politics, and then you're like, oh, I can sort of get where this guy's coming from. Like I get his point of view, and he's just like, what we need to do is send all these Mexicans back to Mexico where they deserve to be.
Oh right.
And I'm just like, all right, well,
now you lost me. Okay.
It's not the immigration thing that bothers me, because like
phrase it.
If somebody's just like, well, I can't take these Mexicans stealing all our jobs. It's America. If they want to come here, they got to do it right. They got to fill out the proper paperwork and triplicate.
Right.
Get in fucking line, not jump the fence.
Right.
Bunch of Mexican, when you hear somebody say that, you're just like, or like a gay rights issue, like where it's just like,
how many groups can Corey offend in one podcast? No. How is the gay rights issue?
No.
I was hoping that you would have waited until he continued to move through each group.
I would have given him a chance to put his foot in his mouth, knowingly to do that.
No, because
go ahead.
The point I'm making, along with the immigration issue with this one, is that every once in a while you hear the first couple steps of somebody's political statement.
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh, I can be on board. Oh, small government? Yeah. Local government? Yeah. That all sounds great. I would love to minimize the role of the government in my life. That sounds wonderful. And then when they're just like, I don't want these queers to get married, you're just like, wow, okay. Somebody really doesn't understand what's going on. Like, somebody really is out of touch with this. Like, you go from going like, all right, well, maybe this guy really understands what he's saying. Nope. Just like down the hill, like, nope.
I'm gonna sample and pull out just that. I don't want these queers getting married. That's going to be my new ringtone. It's going to be Corey saying, I don't want these queers getting married. And then I'm going to go walking around Baltimore City and be like, oh, sorry, it's my guy. It's my friend.
It's my boyfriend.
It's my guy.
It's this guy.
My guy friend.
It's my guy I know. He's super.
Sorry, it's my top.
That's my bottom.
My top's on the phone.
Anyway, but no, yes, it's all about presentation.
He picks up the phone. He's like, hey, daddy.
Bomb.
Hey, daddy. Listen. Wait.
Sorry, I'm stoked on vomit.
Don't think like my daddy. Be my daddy. Anyway, so here's my point. Not that, daddy. No, it's become too real. It's no longer a step. It's no longer a stepmother and a stepson in a real age relationship.
I want to take the red pill. I want to take the red pill.
Let me out. The riff has gone too far. We need to back out. No, so it's all about presentation, which is why I think we should have. When is it okay to shoot a cop? Part
Oh, we're back
2,
on this.
and the Anthem production. That's what I'm saying. Let's do it.
We should make our own video about when to.
Yes, when to shoot a cop. When is it okay to shoot a cop? Not that
When
anybody-
to do it.
that you should go
I
out
will not be
shooting
in
cops.
any way
Well, we've done
involved with this.
We've done a lot of analytics, and we found that 5:17 p.m. is
The
usually
time
the
to shoot
best
a cop.
time.
Yeah.
5:17 p.m. on Tuesdays are the best times.
When is it okay to
The
shoot a cop?
5:37 report.
Yes. So here's what I say. Everybody should watch it. It's a little dry, but it's informative. I think if you listen.
The video is the equivalent of those, like what I was saying there with like the like, you know, a really interesting point and then crazy talk.
Right. A little
Like
bit
this
of
guy,
craziness.
this guy's just like it starts off well. Starts off with the like.
Are you at all surprised that the video is like this?
No, not at all. But
But see, no, and here's
but-
the thing.
no,
It seems
but
crazy
the
to
first-
you.
the first-
Rob.
It
the
seems
first
crazy
40
to you, but it's
the
not.
first 45 seconds of the video, I was just like, okay, I get where he's going here. Like, you have to realize where there's a point where people have overstepped what is, like, they bring up the point of, like, Nazi police and all the other dictatorial leaders that have lived throughout time and how eventually the police force becomes sort of maintaining the rule of the government
rather than
the
protecting the
people.
people, yeah.
And they said, like, well, if, you know, you were being taken in by Nazi police, wouldn't you shoot them? And everyone watching it goes, well, of course. If our police force becomes Nazis, then we should shoot them because I don't want to go on a...
You missed the whole point, though, because the
No,
point is that
but-
nobody did. Nobody did.
Right, but I'm saying that the point of that one singular point was very good.
Okay.
EP's
Is
up.
that EP snoring? Anyway.
That's me.
Turn
saying,
her mic off. Turn her mic off. Yes. Mic is
Move
off.
on.
That one point was really good. I was just like, you know what? I was worried that I was going to get a crazy person talking about civilian justice, and I'm glad that this is not what the case what this video is about. And then all of a sudden it's just like, so you need to rise up. Police ain't no different than normal people. Go ahead, put that gun in their mouth and make them beg for their lives. I'm
That
just
is
like,
not
wow.
what that says.
Wow,
That is
that's
not in that video at all.
No, but it's basically the equivalent of a crazy person talking about.
Here. Can I just make a historical example here? I'm going to use people
Because-
in the room
Can
and
we
connect it to his story.
can we be real about this?
Let's be real.
There's-
Let's rap about it.
There's
I meant rap like presents.
Right.
I didn't mean like actual rap. So-
down low.
No,
No.
you're not.
Here's the thing. There are some cops out there who are very bad at their jobs.
Okay.
And there are some cops out there who are criminally bad at their jobs.
Yes.
And then there's some cops out there who are good at their jobs.
Right.
And there's cops out there who are just really dumb.
Okay.
And there's cops out there. It's everybody. Just like everybody in the world.
Yeah.
You know, there's... Unless you're talking about, like, fucking rocket scientists or brain surgeons... There's no like Jerry's the real dumbest brain surgeon I've ever seen, you know?
Right.
Like when you talk about a job that almost anybody can get,
But that's my problem.
when you're
That's
talking
my
when you're
problem.
talking about a job that almost anybody can get, you're going to get a menagerie of different types
Right.
of people who are, and I don't want people to take their anger at police shooting unarmed black men
Yeah.
as
Carte blanche to shoot
yeah,
cops.
carte blanche.
Okay.
Like every single cop is terrible, and therefore every single cop must be eliminated, and therefore the cop who, you know, just works a foot beat
Right.
and is just trying to keep an eye on the neighborhood, and you know, he has a wife and 2.5 beautiful children, and they live in a nice, respectable home.
How's a half a kid beautiful? I feel like that'd be kind of a freak. Is it the top half or the bottom half?
It's
Lengthwise?
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
it's
Longitude?
split down the middle.
Right, yeah.
Right.
It's like half a twin where they
It's
cut
like
the twin.
it's like split a Tinder, like
Right.
right down the middle.
Okay, let's do a little game. Let's have a little game. Splitting.
Evie
He just woke up.
just woke up. She has no idea where she is.
To be fair, it is 4:00 in the morning. So, all right. So let's play
she
a little
doesn't
game.
know. She doesn't know anything about Robbie and a bottom.
Tell me you missed that. Tell me when we reach the point that it's okay. All right. So we have a police officer. They're all going to be police officers.
Okay.
Was found so mentally incompetent that he was dismissed from 2 police agencies before he was hired. Should that guy be a cop?
No.
That's the guy who shot Tamir Rice in Cleveland, a 12-year-old boy who had a BB gun. The cop knew it was a BB gun and shot him anyway, 2 seconds after arriving on scene. Arrived on scene, stepped out of the car, shot a 12-year-old boy, and the boy sat there for 6 minutes on the ground before they tried to even touch him. Okay?
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Sure.
Did you hear the dispatcher's conversation
With the police.
with the police?
Yes, where they say it is not a real gun. Yes.
No, that's the conversation that the dispatcher had with the person who was calling 911.
Okay.
The conversation that the dispatcher had that was communicated to the police
Mm-hmm.
did not say that the gun was fake.
Okay.
It said that they were waving a weapon.
Have you seen the video in the UK of a man who has a gun in his hands and the cops spend 4 minutes talking to him and then tase him and take him down and take the weapon away?
Oh, no. As I said,
Devil's
I'm
advocate.
playing devil's advocate.
Okay.
Here.
So that guy should not be a cop, though, right? We can understand that guy should
No.
not be a cop. Okay. Now,
But just-
if you have five civil rights violations that led to 2 successful lawsuits on race relations, violations of civil rights, should you be a cop?
Civil lawsuits?
Yes. As in your city, your employer had to pay out because you said or did something super racist that led to the injury of a person of color. Should you be a cop?
Well, I would imagine that they would just fire you
I
for
was going to say
incompetence.
that responsibility also lies on those who did not terminate.
We're going to
his
get there.
employment.
We're going to get there. Should that guy be a cop?
but probably not.
Okay. That first
The
guy
who
first
choked
guy is
Eric
David
Garner, yeah.
First guy is David Lohman, who shot Tamir Rice. Second guy is Daniel Pantaleo, who choked Eric Garner to death.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you have previously said racist shit and gotten fired from a previous police agency, been so incompetent with your weapon that it took multiple attempts to pass the thing, and you have diagnosed anger issues, should you be a cop?
Probably not.
That's Darren Wilson, who shot Michael Brown. Now, we can agree that all those people shouldn't be cops. And you're saying there's good cops? I'm making an argument for that.
Right.
The person who doesn't fire any of those people, who hires them to be police officers despite that, is also a bad cop. And if you are the best cop in the world, you're the guy who has the 2.5 kids and the white picket fence and the dog, and you cover for any of those people. You wear a bracelet that says, I support Darren Wilson. You believe in the blue line, and you cover all of that stuff. You are a bad cop. And I use the Star Wars defense, which I've talked about on here before. If you cover for evil, you are evil. And I have no bones about eliminating you the same way that I would the bad cop who took a life.
But what I see from other policemen is there's this understanding of, I guess, them kind of questioning themselves on how they would have reacted if they were put in
Right.
that situation. Because a lot of cops that we would say, oh, well, he's a great cop. Has he been in that situation
No.
where he would have been tested to see
What-
how that would happen?
I don't hold anybody else in the Ferguson, just rank and file
Yeah.
on the Ferguson Police Department the same as I do Darren Wilson. The only other person that I would lump in with him
Yeah.
would be whoever he sat down with to create the story that he told
bullshit
on that.
ass fucking story. Yeah.
I'm not one to necessarily call people liars, but that story is a little bit
Doesn't make any goddamn sense.
well, it's also one of those he was punching me in the face for 3.5 hours. and you're just like,
Do you see the bruise that I have?
that doesn't.
Obviously.
It doesn't. How could anybody? I don't want to do anything for 3.5 hours.
Right.
I barely want to spend 3.5 hours watching movies, and I love watching movies.
Here's why I do blame them, because they
Somebody sat down with him, and he told them the real story, like this is what happened, and they're just
No,
like,
don't say that. Don't ever say
no.
that.
What actually happened
Yeah.
was whatever, and they come up with the
Okay, but here's the thing.
the
For
line
them-
the line that he can say that isn't like.
For 4 months after that, other members of the Ferguson Police Department, the St. Louis Police Department, the St. Louis County Police Department, the SWAT teams all across the state of Missouri gassed their own people. They gassed the media and interfered with the media reporting on it intentionally. The guy, look, in the background says, "Hey, there's CNN," taps the guy on the shoulder, and they fire a tear gas canister at them.
Yeah.
That is fucking bullshit. That is a constitutional violation.
Oh yeah.
And I hold all of those people responsible. And you know what we need to do? What we need to do is have a citizen corps of 1,000 people who all carry their own riot shields and their own bulletproof vests and their own weapons and their own gas masks and their own gas, for that matter. And when something like Ferguson happens, we line up 1,000 of our people against 1,000 of theirs. When we've reached that point, when we need that, when we need people to protect civilians from the police, everything has changed. Because no matter whether all cops are good or not, every cop who got on that line and fired tear gas into a crowd of people has crossed over, and they are now evil, and that they are now the enemy.
Yeah.
And we need to treat them that way. And when society doesn't even goddamn indict these cops for doing that, we have reached a breaking point in our society, and we just have to come back from the brink. I can tell you now that there is no coming back from the brink. And in this room, I realize that I'm the extremist. I'm the guy who's saying shooting cops is okay. And on the foundingthefuture.us blog, I'm in the midst of a series called The Acceptability of Violence. And in my opinion, violence is acceptable. And we're sitting in a room with much varied opinions. I'm Malcolm X, and you're Martin Luther King, and you're Mahatma Gandhi. You know, different levels. Different levels. I mean, Malcolm X said, by any means necessary. I don't care what color your skin is. If you're part of the struggle, I'll stand next to you, and we will do whatever it takes to get this done. And then, MLK, or well, I guess Mahatma Gandhi is the guy who says, only use violence in self-defense against violence against yourself. And then Martin Luther King's the guy who's like, whoa, no, there's never an excuse.
Well,
you never use violence. So
to me, it seems like there's a couple things that we could do that would stem the tide a little bit.
Give me an example.
Well, first of all, maybe we should be doing more of putting the best people out on the field rather than just anybody.
Okay.
Because
we're going to have to replace 3/4 of the police in this country.
I'm not saying we have to do it all tomorrow. I'm not saying you walk in.
So what are we going to do for 6 people were shot in the last week?
Right.
6 people were murdered by police officers. One of them on Hollywood and Highland in front of a police brutality protest.
Yeah.
A police shot a man with a pocket knife in front of a police brutality protest on Hollywood Boulevard in Los Angeles. What are we going to do for the 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 families who lose family members in the time it takes us to do that, to replace the cops?
There's nothing that can be done overnight.
Yes, there is. You and I and everyone in this room and everyone in this town goes out and says, we are not going to take this anymore. And when the cops fire gas at us, we throw it back at them. And when they hit us with batons, we hit them with batons. And when they shoot bullets at us, we shoot bullets at them. That's how you fix it. You say, this far and no farther. And if you take our lives, we're going to take yours too.
I'm not one to minimize the plight right now.
Yeah.
Of all the people who have been gunned down by the police.
Yeah.
But something tells me that your solution involves us having no police at the end of the day.
Yes, it does. It involves a period of transition.
And I would not want to be, as much as I don't necessarily feel safe when there's a cop around.
Right.
I do like the idea of them being somewhere.
And I think that I saw a cop on Facebook who took a picture of his shirt that said, "Don't like cops. Next time you're in trouble, call a crackhead." And my comment on that picture was, I think it's a better than equal chance that either one of those people will beat you over the head and rob you. Because, I mean, the only time I come in contact with cops now, when's the last time a cop did something good for somebody? A person who's in this apartment right now had her wallet stolen, her purse stolen. Was it the cops who did anything about that?
No.
No. The community stood up and did it. The only contact I've had with cops outside of my employment has been when the road pirates pull me over and get their treasure from me, the $70 a pop, $80 a pop. When I stopped on the side of the road to videotape a DUI stop, and the cop told me that if I didn't leave, he was going to arrest me and have my car towed. And then he called the tow truck, and the tow truck actually showed up, and then I left because I didn't want my car towed, which is also road piracy.
Here's a just general idea of something that I feel like everybody could do, and it would make the entire process a lot better. Mm-hmm. Learn the law. You don't need
it doesn't fucking help you. Though.
You don't need to know the whole. You can get by with a lot when you know a little.
When we lived in Ridgely's Delight,
yes,
we knew the drug dealer who ran that neighborhood. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When you saw him, were you scared of him?
No.
Did you every time you saw him be like, "Yeah, what up, man?"
Yeah.
Why?
He was a perfectly fine guy.
I'm nice to that guy. Never had any problems with my car. Never. He knew who I was. He knew what my car was. I never had, although there was transient crime in that neighborhood, not a single time did anybody break into my car. Sometimes I was really dumb and left electronics and everything else out. Nobody broke up. I attribute that to the fact that the guy who ran the neighborhood knew who I was, knew I was white, probably, and also we were on a friendly basis. I know you're selling drugs. I don't give a shit. You do your thing, I'm going to do my thing. I'm not going to leave you alone.
Yeah.
In that neighborhood, if something had gone down, you know who I talk? I don't call the cops when my car gets broken into. I go up to that guy and I'm like, "Yo, I thought we had an agreement here. I don't call the cops when you're selling drugs in the stoop. You keep my car from getting broken into." I would go talk to him. I wouldn't call the cops. They're not going to do anything for you.
No, what I'm talking about is when the cop says, "I'd like to search your car," for instance.
Right.
It's like, fine, show me your warrant, and then we can get on with this.
Okay.
Like I feel like it probably a solid 80 to 90% of Americans.
Right.
If the cop was just like, "I just want to search your car,"
they would say, "Okay."
They'd be like, "Okay."
Right. And they
But
shouldn't.
how many Americans would be lied to by the police?
And
all of them.
Because
and the ones,
yeah, exactly.
and the
because
ones,
I have been lied to by the police.
Yes.
and the ones who are guilty, the ones who have something to hide,
Right.
would put up some sort of front rather than the like, I don't believe you have a warrant to search my car.
Right.
They would do the like, "Why do you need to do it?"
Well, here's the thing, though. You don't have anything to hide. He says,
Yeah.
"Can I search the car?"
Yeah.
Does he search the car?
I have personally been in this
Does he
situation.
search the car?
He asked me
Yeah.
if he could search my car. And I said, "Why do you want to search my car?" And he said, "If you don't have anything to hide, then you don't have anything to worry about."
Right. Did he search the car?
No, he did not
Because
search
you
the car.
told him
Because
it
I
wasn't allowed.
said, "If I don't let you search my car, will you arrest me?" And he said no. And I said, "Okay, you can give me my ticket and I'll go on my way."
And I will tell you that if you were black, it would not have gone down like that. You would have been probably dragged out of the car on some bullshit charge.
I was already out of the car
Well,
at that
and
point. He
had
took
your
me out
car
of the
searched. You would sit in the back of a cruiser and had your car searched. I have the ability, because of my gender and my race, to walk up to a cop and say, "Go fuck yourself, get a goddamn warrant, and then come back."
Yeah.
And unless you have a warrant, if you come through this door, I'm going to kill you.
See, that's a little far.
I have done
I didn't
that
tell
before.
that cop I was going to kill him if
I
he
have
looked in
done-
my trunk.
Yeah.
I have done that before.
See, but I feel like if you give, see, this is the part of the shooting cop video that I just didn't like comprehend, because like I feel like there's a lot of steps in between me telling somebody no and killing them.
Okay.
Like, if you said to me, like, can I borrow $20? And I was like, no, I'd prefer you not borrow $20.
And I kill you.
Yeah, and then it's just like, you're just like, come on, man, just give me $20. It'll really help me. And I just shoot you. He's like, I told him no. Told him he wasn't allowed to do it.
But that's not the point.
He looked at my wallet in a way that made me think that I was in fear of my $20 being absconded with.
Okay, that sounds more familiar.
Then, like,
But
there's got to be the at least like the time period in between initial reaction and.
But I think what you're assuming that it was saying to jump to that thing, and it wasn't. It was saying if this happens, the eventuality is you have the right to do this, and I completely agree with that. Because a cop comes up to your window and says, "I'd like to search the car," and you say no, and he says, "What? You got something to hide?" "No, I don't have something to hide, but you're not searching my car." And he says, "I think I smell raw marijuana. Get out of the car." Now what? He has probable cause based on smelling raw marijuana. And I'm not going to use anybody specifically example. I'm asking it to the room. I'm saying that they always smell raw marijuana, by the way, which has almost no smell.
Well, first of all, when he
that wasn't me, BT Dubs. Where the cop supposedly smelled raw marijuana. Just to be clear.
Here's how this turn of event goes.
Yeah.
You get pulled over. He says, "Can I search the car?" I say no. He's like, "Well, if you have nothing to hide, then you have no reason to worry about this." And I say, "Unless you're hiding a warrant somewhere on you, then I would prefer you not search my car."
And your white skin keeps your ass from getting beat right there. But let's keep on going with this example.
And then when he says, "I believe I smell raw marijuana," I ask him, for what reason did he initially pull me over?
Right. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter anymore?
Now, if you are stopped, you're being detained, and he smells marijuana, that's probable cause to search your car. Welcome to America in the 21st century.
Okay, but, lawyer.
Yes.
If they say they smell marijuana
Yes.
and they search your car and they find something unrelated to marijuana but do not find the marijuana that was said to have been smelled,
you're guilty. You're still going to jail for whatever they find. They find pills when they're searching for marijuana. That's what we call a plain view. You've found it in plain view because it's pursuant to a search on another. So they pretend that they smell marijuana to search your car. That's the whole point.
So basically what I'm asking you, if I paid for your legal services, would you be able to get me off of that charge?
No. My job isn't to get you off of those charges. My job is to make a deal with the state that gets you as little punishment as possible. Because the reality is you go in there guilty. You're already guilty. No matter what the state says, you're guilty. There are 9 times out of 10, if I can't beat it at a pretrial motions hearing, I'm not going to beat anything. It's about getting you a deal. So that's why we have this thing called an Alford plea, which says that I'm not guilty, but you could probably prove I'm guilty, so I'm going to take a plea in my best interest. Because nobody beats charges unless it's on a pretrial motions. That's it. Nobody beats charges. So they find something in your car, you're going to jail, unless I can get you a better deal that doesn't have any jail time attached to it. And your example, you say, "Do you have a warrant somewhere?" He says, "I smell marijuana. Get out of the car." You say no. He reaches in and opens the door, which also a constitutional violation.
Yeah.
And yanks you out of the car. And then proceeds to search the car despite the fact that you said no. He puts you in cuffs despite the fact that you're disagreement. And let's say he finds nothing in your car. Let's say you know 100% sure there's nothing in your car.
Right.
And, well, turns out you got a dime bag in your glove box. Weird. I knew I smelled it. There it is. And now you've justified the search, and you're going to jail for possession of a plant, by the way.
Yeah.
Just a particular plant that we don't like.
Well, in Maryland you wouldn't get...
Depends how much it is. More than 10 grams, you're still going to jail. But let's say it's more than 10 grams.
Yeah.
You have an ounce. Oh, wait, not a dime bag. You had this ounce. How did you forget you had this ounce in your glove box? Good shit, too. I can smell it. And now you're going to jail. That is the reality of life for 27% of our population.
Yeah, but how do you propose that we could find.
There's-
How do you find people?
There-
Like, how
No,
do you
here's what we
determine
do.
in advance?
Here's what we do. I know I don't have drugs in the car. He reaches in and unlocks the door and gets out. As soon as I am pulled out of the car, I press a 45 to the back of his skull and I blow what's the interior of his head out to the outside, and I get back in the car and I walk away.
I'm saying after the transitional period that you speak of, which I would call probably the purge.
Not the purge, the revolution.
How do you propose finding those that would basically just non-racist
You wanna-
people?
Here's
want-
what-
How
here's
do you
what
wanna
I propose.
determine that these people are not going to be doing
You wanna
the same thing as everybody
you
else?
wanna know the one that would really fuck with them? Just when they say, "Oh, I think I smell marijuana," I'll be like, "Oh, do you now?"
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, "Open up the car door, open it out, drag me out, put me in handcuffs." I just sit casually on the curb. I'm just like, "Okay, Google, Bloop. Can you please turn on my camera?"
Mm-hmm.
And then just wait for him to hear me saying this,
Right,
and then
yeah.
More
What
anti-iPhone
what camera?
conversation.
No, but
What camera are you turning on?
that-
The one that's inside my property?
yeah, except for as and here's what he's gonna do. He's gonna turn you and laugh and be like, "That dude in New York choked out a big black dude on camera. Didn't get anything. I don't give a shit about your fucking camera," which is why body cameras don't matter.
Yeah.
But what is my solution? My solution is you should read Chapter 4 of the movement, Insurrection, because that's where I set my example. But I'll give you a preview. It's doing exactly what Saddam Hussein did in Iraq. It's taking...
There's a wonderful
I
example.
was gonna say, okay, well, this is going in a
and
good
here's
direction.
the thing. I hate when people automatically shut down an idea because somebody who's...
Just kidding.
for-
I'm kidding with
but
you, sir.
Nonetheless, what he said is, okay, you're from Tikrit, and you want to be a police officer. That's great. You are never going to serve in Tikrit. I'm going to move you up to somewhere else, and I'm going to have you be a police officer there. And you're going to be serving in a community that is a majority of a different belief system. You're Sunni, you're going to a Shia place. And the thousands of years that Shia would have oppressed the Sunni. But what you know is you also have a Sunni police officer down in Tikrit who is from this area. So your family is being guarded by somebody of a different religion, and you're guarding his family up north. And it keeps the fucking peace. Because messages spread. And as soon as a bunch of Sunni police officers start murdering Shia or in Tikrit, they know that you're going to start murdering Sunni in your city. And it keeps the balance. You ship people to different parts of the country, you train them well, and you don't rule them with an iron fist, but you protect yourself and you protect the people that way.
Maybe we'd be doing a lot better if we just did the training well part.
That would absolutely be, and if we stopped,
Not just police, but citizens.
it's a self-selecting group to be
'Cause if-
police
'cause if-
officers, which
'cause if-
sucks.
If citizens knew a little bit more about the law,
Yeah.
then I imagine that cops would stop trying to get away with shit that they can't.
If
legally
cops
get away
knew a
with
little
that.
bit more about the law, I find that 9 times out of 10, the cops don't know what laws they're enforcing. They
Right.
start quoting law to me, and I'm like, "The fuck are you talking about?" And I love my favorite part. My favorite part is when I let them rant and rave. This happened in Ocean City when I was there on vacation, and the guy spent like 20 minutes explaining the law to me. And I was like, "Everything you said is wrong." And he was like, "Oh, is that right, smart guy?" And I'm like, I turned to the girl I was with, and I was like, "Here's the funny part." And I pulled out my lawyer's ID, and I gave it to him, and he was like, "Oh, you're one of those.
One of
What are
those.
What are those educated lawyers who knows you're full of shit?" Yes, that's me.
Well, when you think about it, an attorney who knows the law.
Yeah.
How long did you go to law school?
3 years.
How long does a police officer have to be in training?
6 weeks.
And these are the people that are
Forcing.
upholding the law
Right.
that they don't know.
So that's what training is a great idea, and training them is perfect, and training Americans to be better off. But to bring this thing full circle, the problem is I have a trouble getting your attention. A guy gets choked out on the street, and the grand jury doesn't indict him. And 20 minutes later, you're like, Kim Kardashian's got her ass out on Paper Magazine? Holy shit!
You don't have trouble getting my attention. I'm fine. I was very upset that he wasn't indicted.
Right.
We just have to like. There are many steps in between the quietly telling police to stop,
Right.
and your very deadly solution.
You want to cook spaghetti, right?
I can't wait to see how this turns into an
yeah.
argument about police.
You got the water on you got the water on the stove. It's up. You're bringing it to a boil, right?
Right.
And every 2 or 3 minutes, you take it off and you set it to the side, and then you put it back on. When are you going to bring that water enough to a boil to make your spaghetti?
Never.
Yeah, it'll never get there, and that's my problem. If you want real change, people have to be passionate enough.
Your solution is opening up the cupboard, pulling out the spaghetti, looking at it, and as soon as it doesn't cook itself, you shoot it.
No, my solution is this. If you read this upcoming week's the Acceptability of Violence series on foundingthefuture.us blog, what you're going to see is that my proponent is somebody has to be extreme, because that keeps it in people's minds enough that real change can happen. Do I realistically want all the things I've said now tonight to actually happen? No, but I say enough extreme shit that people keep it in the forefront of their minds, that keeps the water on the stove long enough to bring it to a boil. Now, the way that I want to isn't so much pulling it out and shooting it. It's heating it instantly, however that would happen. But it heats it instantly, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. And instead of doing that, we let it slow boil and it gets there, but without somebody saying this extreme shit, we never get there.
Yeah.
Because baseball happens or football happens or Kardashian's ass is out or Madonna is doing porn again or whatever, and we get so fucking distracted that we never get there.
Speaking of which, this is a big weekend for the Fantasy Football League. He just reminded me.
Well, yes.
Anywho, you can find O The Anthem at otheanthem.com, O The Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Google+,
You're the worst
YouTube.
kind of person. Anyway.
Or you can call the listener line, 443-219-7595.
What was the number?
443-219-7595.
And you can find
1-800 go fuck yourself.
That's my number. You can find me online at all your social networks at Robert and Cheek. You can also please check out adeaddrop.com for all your weekly news. If you want to be caught up on all the stories that I've been talking about, you want adeaddrop.com/police-blotter or adeaddrop.com/revolution. You'll also check out foundingthefuture.us. The blog and all the rantings that I've had are on that page as well. And I guess is that everything? I feel like that's everything.
If you want to get in contact with me, I'm on no social networks whatsoever.
Sarah,
because I don't like that
she's
shit.
on Pinterest.
Sarah,
I am on Pinterest.
You can find her on Pinterest.
Follow her on Pinterest.
Yes.
I don't even know my name on
Sarah,
Pinterest.
Sarah,
I just go on there and pin shit.
Sarah, unlike Rob, has a clout score of -2.
Rob's got a cloud score of 66, son. What?
Corey has a clout score of 61. He hasn't checked it in months.
Right, but it's a lot
Because
harder.
I haven't been playing the game. I've been playing the clout game.
It's a lot harder to get
sharing
from
clout articles to get more clout points.
It's harder to get from 61 to 66 than it is to get from 1 to 61. That's the whole point. It's harder. It gets harder. More increment. Not important. Anyway, you have been listening to the O The Anthem podcast.
I need to spend their special clout money to get more clout points.
You are the worst kind of person. Can we put that on a t-shirt? T-shirt? A t-shirt?
Get a
T-shirt. You are the worst kind of person. That is going on a t-shirt.
You're the worst kind of person, Rob.
Dash Rob.
Dash Rob.
Press a
And
45 to the back of his skull.
And then just if we ever get to the point where people are like, "Can you sign my shirt?" I'm just going to also pull out the white marker and just sort of making an arrow. So it's like, you're the worst kind of person, arrow Rob.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That's classy.
That'll be my contribution to the...
We're working on swag for you guys, too, by the way, if Corey ever gets off his ass and looks at the shit that I sent him.
I looked at all the shit that you sent me.
Also, if he likes...
And then do you remember how I sent you a whole bunch of different designs of things that I was thinking of?
Yes, but it was all the same design. It was just different things on the same design.
Blah, blah, blah.
Anyway, don't forget to check out themovementinsurrection.com, and you can find the movement on Amazon. Go through our affiliates link and give us wet her beak a little bit on
Yeah,
that.
we'll get a little taste.
Just a little taste. Just a taste. Anyway.
It's like when you go to the ball game, not watching Nick Markakis anymore, obviously, but when you go to the ball game and somebody orders a beer like 6 seats down,
Right.
and they pass it down, you just take a little sip as you.
I don't think that
Everyone
happens.
takes a little sip.
I think it's more like if you spill a little bit on your hand as you're passing it, and then
Then you're just like, oh,
got it. Yeah.
I got a little bit spilled in my cupped hand.
Hashtag the struggle.
Hashtag the struggle.
Anyway, as always, you're listening
I
to
sit in the I sit
Good
on
God.
I sit in
Corey
the
does not want the show to end.
I sit in the
Pretty
middle.
sure.
I sit in the middle of my row, and my beer's gone by the time I get.
I'll take 2 beers. Guys, just give me one. Just let me get
Let
one.
me have one of them. Seriously, they cost $12 each.
Which is another problem I had. But we go to the ball game. Everything's...
All right, whatever.
As always, you're listening to the O The Anthem podcast, part of the O The Anthem digital network. For Corey and Sarah and Ann and EP and everybody who's here, and myself, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody. Not going to chime in with something? I thought for sure there was something coming.